Husband!
Yes, wife.
Let's read the Bible.
But we're atheists. Why would we want to do such a thing?
Because we live in small town USA and everyone around us quotes this thing extensively and we have no idea how to respond?
That's true. Neither of us grew up with religion, yet Christianity is playing a huge part in our country's politics.
We're not scholars or academics, so Sacrilegious Discourse is our first take reaction.
And this feed houses our reading of the book of Genesis, and each subsequent book will get its own separate feed too.
Why are we separating each book?
Not all podcast platforms allow access to older episodes. This will ensure our listeners don't lose access to any of our previously released material.
You can find our most recent episodes on our main channel, Sacrilegious Discourse.
That's right. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there, so it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap. Oh. But, we can definitely use any amount, so, any support is always appreciated.
So, what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Husband.
Yes, wife.
Are you ready to read more Bible?
Of course. It was so exciting last time.
Well, I enjoyed talking to you.
Well, yeah.
And that's fun.
Yes, it was.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, what are we doing today?
We are doing Genesis chapters 4 through 7.
Okay, let's get on with it.
Okay. So, chapter 4 is Cain and Abel, but I have to tell you something
I
first.
know this story.
But even before that, I have to tell you something.
Okay.
So, remember when I told you that translations matter, and you were like, whatever.
Yeah.
So, we are actually reaching the part where translation matters, because we're going to get to the begats. That's dumb. That is not proper use of the word begat, but I will allow it.
How soon is the begatting?
It's actually in chapter 5, so we're not quite there yet, but I just wanted to be up front and prepare you because you were like, that's boring.
Well, yeah, begat.
Yes, but again, here's where translation matters. This particular translation, the NLT, does not say begat. So I just thought I'd put that out there.
Okay.
Because I didn't know until I slightly read ahead a little bit, and I was like, wait a minute, all these people having all these sons and whatnot, and I don't see the word begat yet.
I thought the begatting was in Leviticus.
Yeah, so did I. This is why we're reading the Bible.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, chapter 4, Cain and Abel. Now, Adam had sexual relations with his wife.
Oh, shit. Bow, bow, wow.
They did the dirty with his wife Eve.
Did it actually say sexual relations?
This translation does say, now Adam had sexual relations with his wife Eve.
Interesting.
And she became preggers.
It does not say preggers.
It doesn't. It says pregnant.
Okay.
But I like preggers better.
Right.
Or pregnoid.
Pregnoid, yeah.
Eve became pregnoid. When she gave birth to Cain, she said, with the Lord's help, I have produced a man. Because, she couldn't have done it by herself.
Right. Did the Lord actually help?
I mean, according to Eve, but it seems
like the third wheel in the room or something, or
it seems like Adam did the heavy lifting.
I mean,
there.
You would think, yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, kind of nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, no judgment. Some people like that.
I guess God did create them, so that's helping.
I don't know.
Couldn't have had kids without making themselves.
Okay. Later, she gave birth to his brother and named him Abel.
How much later?
It didn't say.
Just later.
Later.
Just later.
Laters. When they grew up, Abel became a shepherd,
That was quick.
while Cain cultivated the ground.
He got the boring job. Wait.
No, they're both boring.
Right, but I mean, God was like, you will work hard to toil from the earth and blah, blah, blah. But the other guy got to be the shepherd, so...
That's true. So one is toiling while the other's doing with the livestock.
Sounds like BS. Like, one of them is a favorite kid.
So no wonder Cain rose up.
Right?
When it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord. Abel also brought a gift.
See, I told you God was a vegan. He wants his salads.
The best portion of the firstborn lambs from his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gift, but he did not accept Cain and his gift.
Oh.
I don't know why. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. I would be dejected too.
Right. He didn't accept this gift. Like, dude, I'm giving you something. You won't even take it?
Maybe it was rotted. Like, maybe he's like, here's some fucking potatoes.
I guess.
Look, I'm just going to tell you, if somebody came up to me and was like, here, have some potatoes and cucumbers from my garden, I'd be like, oh, thanks.
Right.
Even if they were shriveled and nasty, to me, it's the thought that counts, and I'll be like, they had extra, and that was so nice.
Yeah, it's always been my theory, just based on the things that I have heard, that God is kind of an asshole.
I mean, it seems that way. Let's read on.
Okay.
Why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right, but if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Watch out.
Vague much?
Vague much. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master. This sounds like victim blaming. So basically, God punched him in the feelings and then was like, why you crying, bruh?
Right. Yeah.
One day, Cain suggested to his brother, let's go out into the fields. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him.
That
escalated quickly.
Like, what? That just walked out into a field and killed him, huh?
And also misplaced anger. Like, according to what I'm reading, it's not Abel's fault that God's a dick.
Right. So his mom bit into the fruit of knowledge, and then he just walks out into a field and kills his brother.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This story is so convoluted.
I mean, like, where's the... Like, there's no story arc here.
No, none.
Okay.
It's just, and then that happened.
Right.
And then that happened.
Yeah.
There's no cause and effect, really.
Right.
After the Lord asked Cain, where is your brother? Where is Abel?
Because, again, he can't keep track of the 4 human beings that are on his planet.
I think he knew. Otherwise, why would he ask?
But why should he ask? Why doesn't he just say it? Why, like, he doesn't tell people what the sins are. He doesn't tell people, that they're actually not going to die if they eat the fruit, but it's going to cause a problem and that they're going to get... Like, he doesn't tell people anything. You have to figure it out. And then if you don't figure it out the way he wants you to, he's like, fuck you. I'm going to punish you because you're dumb and you didn't do things the way I wanted you to do it.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
Cain responded.
Did he say,
He said, I don't know.
Oh, I
but
don't
I
know.
like,
Okay. Paraphrasing here.
Yeah,
Got
definitely. I don't know, Cain responded. Am I my brother's guardian? Oh, smartass. But the Lord said, what have you done? We've been here before. Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. See, I told you he already knew.
Yeah.
Now you are cursed and banished from the ground which has swallowed your brother's blood. No longer will the ground yield good crops for you, no matter how hard you work. From now on, you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth. That seems, I don't know, a bit extreme.
It does.
Like, there's no, what's that thing called? Rehabilitation?
Right, yeah.
Like, just, no, fuck you, you're done.
I mean, these are your first 4 humans, and one of them fucked up because you didn't give clear instructions.
And you're like, you're done, bruh.
You're done.
Yeah. This leader sucks.
Right?
Cain replied to the Lord, my punishment is too great for me to bear. You have banished me from the land and from your presence. You have made me a homeless wanderer. Anyone who finds me will kill me. Anyone?
Who are these anyones?
Anyone? I didn't know there were other peeps.
Right, that's it. They're the first 2 people other than their parents on Earth, as far as I knew.
This is very confusing.
It is very confusing.
The Lord replied, "No, for I will give a sevenfold punishment to anyone who kills you." Then the Lord put a mark on Cain to warn anyone who might try to kill him. So I wonder if Cain is still alive today.
So the mark is to warn people to not kill him?
Yeah. I wonder if it, is clear instructions. Don't kill this boy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we are watching the show Lucifer, and...
The mark of Cain.
And there's Cain's in there. He's still alive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is very interesting stuff.
Right.
So Cain left the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain had sexual relations with his wife.
Wait, his wife? Who the hell was his wife?
And she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. But where
did his wife come from?
I don't know. This is so confusing. Maybe
it was just 3 seconds ago they were born, right. And now he's banished and having sex with his wife, and having a kid named Enoch.
Hear me out. So you know how in the Bible mans are all the shit and womans are just nothing?
Right.
So maybe Eve had a bunch of daughters that were not mentioned, and so maybe Cain took a sister with him and married her ass.
Right, but that's a stretch. They don't, they're not telling us this shit.
Look, there's no other people. I can only assume that Eve had more children than what is mentioned in the record.
For all we know, there's other gods on the planet at this point, and they created other people. And when he got banished, he was like, "Oh look, there's other people. I'm gonna take this one as my wife because I got banished from my god. I'm gonna go over to this god."
I don't know how I feel about that, considering I don't believe in any of the gods.
Well, I'm just saying, it's as believable as this god. You know what I'm saying? There's all these other religions. Why couldn't it just be another god? They don't tell us. So maybe the Bible's telling us that these other religions are legit. They just don't want to tell us they're legit.
Okay.
It's just a theory.
I am going to go with my theory that he married his sister.
I mean, that's probably more reasonable.
Because it's hard enough to believe in one God, much less many.
It's sick, and also it means that there was a lot of incest when we were in our early years.
It means that we're all inbred motherfuckers.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Cain had sexual relations with his mystery wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. Then Cain founded a city. Jesus Christ!
There's enough people for a city.
Shit.
Man, we're taking leaps and bounds here.
Where did all these people come from? Which he named... Oh, then Cain founded a city which he named Enoch after his son. Enoch had a son named Irad, or Erod.
Now we're in the next generation already?
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, here we go. This is where we get into the begats. Erod became the father of Mehujael. Mehujael became the father of Methuselah. Methuselah became the father of Lamech. Lamech married 2 women. 2 women? Holy shit!
Man.
The first was named Adah, and the second was Zillah. Adah gave birth to Jabal, who was the first of those who raise livestock and live in tents. I know he was not the first to raise livestock because Abel was.
That's right. He was saying that, right?
That was the whole point of the fight.
But he was the first to raise livestock and live in tents.
Oh, okay. I guess. I don't know. This whole thing's a mess.
Yeah.
His brother's name was Jubal, the first of all who play the harp and flute. That's interesting.
That means that they've invented harps and flutes now.
Yeah, we have progressed quite a ways.
Right?
Lamech's other wife, Zillah, gave birth to a son named Tubal-Cain. He became an expert in forging tools of bronze and iron.
Being that these are some of the first human beings on the planet, you would think there'd be a lot more storyline here.
I would think.
I would think too.
Especially
since they're inventing all this crap. They invented harps and all this. I mean, they invented a lot of things.
There is no character creation here. I don't like this book.
I don't either. They're just they're skipping.
They're skipping. Yeah.
They're and then lots of people had sex.
Yeah.
And then now we're here.
Too much exposition.
Right.
Tubal-Cain had a sister named Naamah. One day, Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Listen to me, you wives of Lamech. I have killed a man who attacked me, a young man who wounded me. If someone who kills Cain is punished 7 times, then the one who kills me will be punished 77 times.
What?
What? He just decided that of his own accord.
Right? That wasn't even God saying it.
He's just like, my great-great-grandpa still walking the earth isn't allowed to die, and therefore, I'm not allowed to die either. Nya, nya, nya.
Right?
And he's like bragging about it to his wives, and they're probably like, okay.
77 times, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, we're going back to Adam now.
Okay.
Adam had sexual relations with his wife again.
But wait, we're like, how many generations in now? This has got to be like hundreds of years down the road.
Yeah. He lived a really long time. I don't know if you're aware.
Okay.
Hundreds of years.
Got it.
And she gave birth to another son. She named him Seth, for she said, God has granted me another son in place of Abel, whom Cain killed. Because that's how that works. You lose a son and you just replace him with a new rainbow baby.
Hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years later.
Right. When Seth grew up, he had a son and named him Enosh. At that time, people first began to worship the Lord by name. And by people, again, I don't know where all these folks came from.
Well, apparently they just materialized somewhere. I'm not really sure.
Like a teleporter?
Because there was a city within the second generation.
What if they're like aliens? Like, what if
And according to the Bible, the only offspring that Adam and Eve had were 2 men.
And then a third man.
And then a third man.
Right.
So what?
Yeah, I don't get this at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 5, The Descendants of Adam. This is the written account of the descendants of Adam. When God created human beings...
Wait, did you start on chapter 5?
No, that was chapter 4. Now I'm on chapter 5.
Right, we're supposed to pause.
Oh, I forgot. Nothing.
We'll be right back.
Okay, so can I start chapter 5 now?
Go for it.
Okay, sorry, I'm not very professional. Chapter 5, The Descendants of Adam. This is the written account of the descendants of Adam. When God created human beings, he made them to be like himself. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and called them human. When Adam was 130 years old, he became the father of a son who was just like him in his very image. He named his son Seth. After the birth of Seth, Adam lived another 800 years.
Oh my God.
And he had other sons and daughters.
Wow.
Adam lived...
Just other. Like, we're not going to cover them.
Other people. Yeah.
They're just others.
The others.
Yeah.
Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. I wonder how good his brain was.
Must have been good medical care back then.
Better than what we've got today, clearly.
God LASIK.
Okay, so I think we're getting into the real begats now.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to just try to flash through these as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm going to time you.
Oh my God. Ready?
I'm ready.
When Seth was 105 years old, he became the father of Enosh. After the birth of Enosh, Seth lived another 807 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh was 90 years old, he became the father of Kenan. After the birth of Kenan, Enosh lived another 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Enosh lived 905 years, and then he died. When Kenan was 70 years old, he became the father of Mahalalel. After the birth of Mahalalel, Kenan lived another 840 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Kenan lived 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel was 65 years old, he became the father of Jared. After the birth of Jared, Mahalalel lived another 830 years, and he had other sons and daughters. When Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then he died. When Jared was 162 years old, he became the father of Enoch. After the birth of Enoch, Jared lived another 800 years. He had other sons and daughters. Jared lived 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch was 65 years old, he became the father of Methuselah. After the birth of Methuselah, Enoch lived in close fellowship with God for another 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived 365 years, walking in close fellowship with God. Then one day he disappeared, because God took him. When Methuselah was 187 years old, he became the father of Lamech. After the birth of Lamech, Methuselah lived another 782 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Methuselah lived 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech was 182 years old, he became the father of a son. Lamech named his son Noah.
Oh, I know that name.
For he said, "May he bring us relief from our work and the painful labor of farming this ground that the Lord has caused." After the birth of Noah, Lamech lived another 595 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Holy cow.
That's the end of chapter 5.
That is a lot of exact dates and how long they lived exactly.
Right.
And they lived a really long time.
And not a lot of character development, which is why I just tried to flash through it as quickly as possible.
Like zero character development.
Right.
That was... What
even happened?
Why?
The fuck did I just read?
Okay. You think they'll make it clear?
Probably not.
Shit.
But at least we've reached Noah.
Okay. Well, Noah, I mean, at least we know that story.
Yeah, kind of, maybe.
I mean, you know, most people do. I do.
I
mean,
know.
kind of.
I think I know it. I don't know.
Shit flooded, right?
I mean, I think there was a flood, and then he built an ark and
like
animals,
2 animals.
but not the unicorns.
Fucking unicorns.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so chapter 6. The wickedness of mankind.
Glad we got through all those
begats. Right. Chapter 6, the wickedness of mankind. Then the people began to multiply on the earth, and daughters were born to them.
It's like, they're just like, 1, 2, 3, go. Here is a lot of freaking people.
Yeah. That's basically the way it goes.
Like, that's like the whole point of the last, like, couple of chapters.
Yeah, they fuck like bunnies.
Yeah.
The sons of God saw the beautiful women and took any they wanted as their wives.
Took.
They took them as their wives.
Okay. Any they wanted.
But only the beautiful ones.
But only, yeah. Fucking ugly ones just got, you know, who knows.
And they got tossed to the curb.
Yeah, right.
Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not put up with humans for such a long time, for they are only mortal flesh. In the future, their normal lifespan will be no more than 120 years.
So he's like, he created us in his own image, and then he got tired of us. So he's like, you're going to die quicker now.
Yeah.
I don't like you guys anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Again, it kind of holds true to my theory that he's an asshole.
Yeah, because, like, that's definitely not how I feel about my kids.
Right?
Yeah. In those days, and for some time after, giant Nephilites lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times. The Lord observed the extent of human wickedness on the earth, and he saw that everything they thought or imagined was consistently and totally evil.
Okay.
I don't get it.
But why? Why was it like...
They had sex.
Right?
With women.
What were they imagining and conceiving of that was evil?
I think that they had sex.
Okay. I mean, there was warriors too, so I guess maybe they were killing each other.
What are giant Nephilites?
I don't know.
I'll look that one up and get back to you next time.
I mean, I'm imagining like some giant flying bug. That's just what it sounds like to me. But...
I mean, I know that Nephilim...
It's like a beetle that can knock over houses. That's what I'm saying.
A beetle that can knock over houses?
That flies, yeah.
Well, Nephilim are a type of angel, I think.
Oh.
Like Nephilim and Seraphim.
I don't know.
But what is a Nephilite? It sounds kind of like Nephilepicus. So the Lord was sorry he had ever made them and put them on the earth. It broke his heart.
Oh my God. What a...
I'm sorry I even made you, you pieces of shit.
Right? Right? Wow.
And the Lord said, I will wipe this human race I have created from the face of the earth.
Hold on. He is like all-knowing and powerful. And he can't control his fucking humans.
And he made them in his image.
Yeah, like, what the hell? This guy's an ass. I mean, he is
hates
the worst
himself.
manager in the face of the planet.
He is the worst manager on the face of the planet. Yeah. Okay, so he's going to wipe them out. Yes, I will destroy every living thing. All the people, the large animals, the small animals that scurry along the ground, and even the birds of the sky. I am sorry I ever made them. That is a temper tantrum.
Right?
That is like when you're playing a game of chess and you're losing, and so you pick up the board and you throw it.
Again, I wonder, why do we worship this thing?
I don't.
I mean, I don't either, but, like, he sounds, like, really childish.
He sounds petulant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Noah found favor with the Lord. Noah makes the ark. This is the account of Noah and his family.
This is the only reason I know what a cubit is.
A cubit?
Yeah.
Is it a measurement?
Yeah, it's a measurement. It's from the tip of your middle finger to your elbow.
Oh,
and there's a cubit. Yeah.
So your cubit is bigger than my cubit. This is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, the only blameless person living on earth at the time, and he walked in close fellowship with God. Noah was the father of 3 sons, as we've already covered,
right.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right.
Now God saw that the earth had become corrupt and was filled with violence. Oh, you were right. Warriors fighting all the time.
Yeah.
You called that. God observed all this corruption in the world, for everyone on earth was corrupt. Maybe, don't you kind of wish that God would see all the corruption in our government and wipe them the fuck out?
Well, the way he acts, he would just wipe out the planet and pick one person to not kill. Cause
that's true.
He's,
childish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he doesn't have time for us.
Yeah, he's real busy with all of his projects.
And we can't complain to HR. We're just fucked.
So God said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all living creatures, for they have filled the earth with violence. Yes, I will wipe them all out along with the earth. Build a large boat from cypress wood and waterproof it with tar inside and out. Then construct decks and stalls throughout its interior. Oh, this is where we get the measurements. Make the boat 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Leave an 18-inch opening below the roof all the way around the boat.
See, that must be where they reworded it too, because it used to be, that was cubits.
Cubits, but they translated it to feet.
Right.
Got it. Put the door on the side and build 3 decks inside the boat, lower, middle, and upper. Look! I'm about to cover the earth with a flood that will destroy every living thing that breathes. Everything on earth will die, but I will confirm my covenant with you. So enter the boat, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. I wonder if they were allowed to bring their kiddos.
Did they have? It doesn't say if they had kiddos.
I imagine that they did, if they were fucking like they say they're fucking.
Well, but he was in good with God and all that shit, so maybe I don't know.
Would you get on a boat if you couldn't bring your kids and grandkids?
No.
Let's say that it's Noah's sons and their wives, but not your sons' wives and their kids.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't sound very cool.
That would be your grandkids.
Right.
You wouldn't bring
I wouldn't be okay with God at that point.
No. I would be like, no, my grandkids are getting on this fucking boat.
But Noah was the only one that was in cahoots with God.
Yeah.
But he's still letting them bring his wife and his kids and their wives.
Yeah.
And so technically, isn't he setting himself up for more failure?
Sounds like.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Sounds like.
Because he started off this whole thing with just a couple people in the beginning, too.
Yeah. And that
what makes him think this is
sour.
going to work better?
Well, clearly it doesn't, because we're alive today to see the mess he left behind. Bring a pair of every kind of animal, a male and a female, into the boat with you to keep them alive during the flood. Pairs of every kind of bird and every kind of animal and every kind of small animal that scurries along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. And be sure to take on board enough food for your family and for all the animals. So Noah did everything exactly as God had commanded him. Now I have a question. Remember when we were reading earlier on that Adam named all the animals and you were like, that can't possibly be true because he'd still be naming them today?
Right.
Well, now he's saying, and get all those animals on that boat. So my theory is, or my question is, were there fewer animals back then?
I mean,
we got birds and serpents and sheep and livestock, fish and birds.
But then that would basically prove evolution.
How?
Because there's more today than there was then. Did God just continue creating new bugs?
No.
Because fuck him for mosquitoes. I mean, seriously.
Oh, yeah, definitely fuck him for mosquitoes.
That's not cool.
They serve no purpose in my world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the end of chapter 6.
Oh,
Next comes the flood.
Ooh. All right.
Okay, so chapter 7.
All right,
The
chapter 7.
flood. When everything was ready, the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the boat with all your family, for among all the people on earth, I can see that you alone are righteous."
You alone.
You only
Not his
you.
family, but him.
Yeah, even your wife is a piece of shit, but I'll let you bring her.
Yeah.
And your kids totally suck, but
Yeah.
I'll let you bring them.
Right. And their wives totally
Their
suck
wives
too.
are right out. I mean, they're
right?
women.
But they still get to come.
Yeah. But everybody else,
They just die.
they just die.
Okay.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Take with you 7 pairs, male and female, of each animal I have approved for eating and for sacrifice. And take one pair of each.
Wait. We were sacrificing shit to God back then?
Apparently we were.
Holy shit. I didn't know we did sacrifices.
Yeah, apparently we did.
Christianity sounds really paganish.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay.
And what I want to know is, how does killing an animal and being like, "Oh my God, with all this blood, you so great." Like, I don't really get all that. Like, I don't get.
And he wonders why they became warlike.
Right.
They're sacrificing animals to him.
Yeah.
And wondering why they're, bloodthirsty people.
Yeah. Like, you make them kill animals and,
Right?
like, pray at you and worship you. It's
crazy.
That's childish. I just keep coming back to that.
Right.
It's so childish and petulant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have approved for eating and for sacrifice, and take 1 pair of each of the others. Also take 7 pairs of every kind of bird. 7 pairs.
7 pairs? Why?
To eat and to worship, I guess.
Oh.
And to feed the other animals.
Okay.
There must be a male and a female in each pair to ensure that all life will survive on the earth after the flood. After all, we know that just a man and a woman of each one, that will somehow create an entire population.
Right.
We saw that happen once.
yeah. And there won't be any inbreeding whatsoever, and none of those that are on the ship died of sickness.
Apparently. I don't know. We're not there yet. Maybe they did. I've never read this before. I just kind of know hearsay.
Right.
7 days from now, I will make the rains pour down on the earth, and it will rain for 40 days and 40 nights until I have wiped from the earth all the living things I have created. Okay. So, did you know...
Don't you think a duck could live for,
I think a duck could probably live not on the boat.
Right? And what about the fish in the sea? He's saying all life.
Right.
It's not going to wipe out the fish in the sea.
It's not going to wipe out the fish in the sea.
But again... That might have been on purpose because they couldn't also come on the boat.
Right. So he might have given them a pass.
Right. Yeah. So maybe when he means all life, but the sea creatures, they're good.
Right. I guess he could have done a fire if he really wanted to get everybody gone. Meow.
Right.
My cat meowing.
Yep.
Meow. So, did you know though that there have been things found that do prove that there was a giant flood back then?
Yeah, but I mean, it's also a localized thing. It's not like...
Right.
it was in the area that they consider to be...
The entire planet.
Right.
The entire planet being that
the Middle East.
That little continent section.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So there was a flood.
There was a flood.
Call me shocked.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that proves the entire Bible. I'm just saying it is interesting that there was a flood. Sure. As there might be.
There was also dinosaurs.
There was also dinosaurs, and they did not make it onto the boat, I noticed. So Noah did everything as the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. He went on board the boat to escape the flood, he and his wife and his sons and their wives. No more, though.
Right.
No grandkids. With them were all the various kinds of animals, those approved for eating and for sacrifice, and those that were not, along with all the birds and the small animals that scurry along the ground. Repetitive much. They entered the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God had commanded Noah. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. Good grief. I thought that there was this whole section of the Bible where Noah argued with his neighbors and stuff.
I mean, I kind of recall that as well, but maybe that's more like a side story or something.
Is that either a side story that we'll read about later, or is that a side...
Something to do with the versions that we're reading?
Or maybe it's a side story that was made up that we're confusing as biblical, that actually wasn't from the Bible, but was something that
Well, you know how, like, U.S. history books gloss over the fact that, slavery and civil rights and voting rights and,
And they call it states' rights and then racism was done, etc.?
Yeah, maybe the Bible, like, because I know there's, like, children's versions out there and stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Bible has a similar, like, rewriting of history. Like, here's the happy, fun version. And it's more story like not that killing everybody is fun.
I was gonna say, could you imagine if this was the happy version? What must the bad grown-up version look like?
But in order to make it palatable, you got to make sure you demonize those people in a children's eye to make it worthy. You can't just say, and God just decided to kill everybody.
Right.
That's the end.
Although, I mean, that's kind of what this does.
Right. No, that's what it says in there. I'm saying, like, the children's Bible, though. Like, there's other versions out there that might be like,
okay,
hey, let's make this a little bit more palatable and not, just straight up massacring all of humanity.
Saying that the parts that we remember with Noah arguing with his neighbors and building the ark may be some creative license that was taken later?
Possibly. Okay. If anybody knows, please reach out to us and enlighten us.
Well, I mean, we're going to keep reading, so maybe we'll come across it. But I would love answers to all of our questions.
Because, like, seriously, we just don't believe in God, and this is our first time reading through the Bible, so...
This is not convincing.
We did not research this ahead of time. We're just kind of commenting on the way through.
Yeah.
And we're a little bit confused
we're a lot confused.
Well, we're confused, though, based on what we have, gleaned through our life versus what is being said here, because it's just like, 1, 2, 3, go, kill all the people.
Right.
And the story, like you and I have heard, is... more like all these people were being really shitty and they were partying and killing people and war and blah, 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 blah. And then they spent time pleading to get on the ship and he spent time arguing with them before the flood came. And, there was all this whole thing. There's this whole thing.
Maybe there's stories to come.
Maybe.
Let's find out.
All right.
When Noah was 600 years old, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and the rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. Jack Torrance.
What?
Jack Torrance. He's the guy from The Shining.
Yeah, I know. What does that have to do with the Bible?
The mighty torrents fell from the sky.
Okay.
The mighty Jack Torrance were raining down.
Got it.
Okay, that was a reach. But
yes, it was.
I can't hear the word torrent without thinking of The Shining. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, large and small, along with birds of every kind. Oh my God, this is like the 5th time we've had to cover this.
Right. They just want to make sure real good that we got those things on the boat.
Got this. 2 by 2 they came into the boat, representing every living thing that breathes. A male and female of each kind entered, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door behind them.
The Lord closed the door?
The Lord closed the door.
Damn. That's special treatment right there.
I know. I didn't realize.
Valet service.
Right? Like, he came down and he shut it himself.
Shit.
He's like, all right, get going.
Huh?
Here comes the rain. Na, 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 na. For 40 days, the flood waters grew deeper, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth.
40 days and 40 nights. Don't forget that part.
Well,
it's very important.
But this just says 40 days on this particular verse. As the waters rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely on the surface. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on the earth, rising more than 22 feet above the highest peaks.
Oh my gosh. How did they measure that? Do you think they got a stick out and were like, yep, that's 22 feet. Only back then it would have been cubits, so he would have had to use his elbow and his fingertip.
Oh my God. That's pretty deep. How do you think he survived that dive?
He swam down 22 feet just to measure how... And how do they know it was the highest mountain? Did they, were they traversing the entire earth?
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I call bullshit on this.
I call bullshit on this also. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on the earth, rising more than 22 feet above the highest peaks. All the living things on earth died. Birds, domestic animals, wild animals, small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the people.
Except for the ones on the ship.
That's really sad. Everything that breathed and lived on dry land died. God wiped out every living thing on the earth. People, livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, and the birds of the sky. All were destroyed. The only people who survived were Noah and those with him on the boat. And the floodwaters covered the earth for 150 days.
And the sea creatures. Don't forget about the sea creatures. They lived too.
But this is sad.
I know, but this is stupid though. Like, he killed all the furry animals that scurry along the earth and
the
birds and all this bullshit because they were on land with his human beings that he created.
Right.
Not because they were bad.
Right.
But because they were on land with the other humans.
Right.
But he let all the sea creatures live.
Right.
Because he didn't have a way to flood the things that are already in the flood. So he killed some animals, but not all animals. And he only killed them because he wanted to kill us. Right. Or, I'm sorry, human beings.
Yeah, not me.
Right.
I wasn't there.
No, we weren't there.
No. That's the end of the chapter, but I hate leaving off on such a... And he killed them all. The end.
Right? Mass murder. Our God.
Okay, see you next week.
Yep. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Bye. Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.